We're talking scraps today. I'm showing you all kinds of fun ideas with fabric and paper scraps. I've also got a really fun estate sale find to show you and a really cool new paper that I have been experimenting with. I cannot wait to show you. Here we go, y'all. Well, hello and welcome to Pink Paper Peppermints. My name is Melissa and I'm so glad you're here. Today we are heading into week 3 of the 5th annual My Heart of Thanksgiving event. And if you don't know what that is, you can check out the information on the screen or go to pinkpaperpeppermints.com and find out all about it. Well, I left off last week. I left my week 1 prompt page undone a little bit. You see here I was using a giant journaling tag and I had done my cover page and wrapped it around the front page. And these giant journaling tags are part of the My Heart of Thanksgiving kit, the Bread of Life, and they are made from vintage wallpaper. And so I wanted to show you what I decided to do with this, and it's got ledger paper printed on the inside of them as well. You can see that there. I used some vintage rickrack, and I just had to show you the packaging for this. I picked this up at an estate sale, and it was in a baggie with some sewing notions, and I just loved how she had wrapped her rickrack around this matchbook from Safeway. We don't really have Safeway stores where I live anymore, but I just thought that was so cool. So I'm using my art glitter glue and doing little tiny dots on the rickrack to glue it down. And I've got some ephemera from the ephemera kit, this little bread, and some doilies and some little leaves. And I attached some Sari ribbon and some more ribbon on the top there. And then on the inside, I used a crochet doily and a little yo-yo to make a pocket and put some tags in that. So that is my week 1 prompt card. And I think I'm going to continue to do that for the rest of the weeks. So I've got this curtain panel that I got. It's a vintage curtain panel that I got, and I will link the shop where I got that below. And I'm using this kind of as a little, to create a little hidden journaling. I folded it over the top and sewed it on. And then I made some pockets from our pumpkin pie slices like I showed you. Was that last week? It's all a blur now, but I think that was last week that I showed you how to do that. I will look and link that for you if you want to see that. And so I've got my hidden journaling there under my little curtain panel. And then I'm just going to tuck some journal cards, also from the kit, into those pumpkin pie pockets so that I have a space to journal there. So let's talk about scraps. That's what this video is all about. And I have this piece of vintage book page that I had die cut some leaves out of, and so I thought that this would be a great idea to take this and mix it with this scrap of pattern paper from the kit, and I'm just layering it over the top, and I just love how that fall plaid comes through those leaves. So what I decided to do was to try and make a page from this, and I'm just going to cut off the excess, and at the bottom I'm going to fold it up and create a little pocket. And then on the opposite side, I've got this scrap of fabric, some vintage fabric, and I'm going to place it under the lace here and make kind of a spot for hidden journaling so that when you lift it up, you can see the journaling beneath it. And now I've got my page all sewed up, and what I did was I sewed it to another piece of pattern paper. That's the vintage wallpaper. And that particular wallpaper is not in the main paper kit that you see here. That is in another kit. And I sewed it down the middle with a zigzag stitch to create that page, and I did that after I had made my little pocket at the bottom there and kind of sewed all the way around the edges. And so I'm just going to slip that in, and I'm going to fill up that pocket with all kinds of fun ephemera and little mini books and things like that. So the other thing I wanted to show you was I have been burning pumpkin spice candles like they were going to be gone forever after this. And yes, I've actually burned 2. Actually, I've burned 3. The third one just wouldn't fit on this piece of plastic. But I took the stickers off because I recycled the jars, and I put the stickers on this clear plastic packaging and sewed it up with some fabric, a fabric strip, and made a little shaker page out of it. And so I thought that was a fun idea. I love including things like the candles and the coffee wrappers and things like that in my book at this time of year and at Christmas. Just kind of ephemera that comes up during the year. And so I'm probably going to attach that there. I realized after I did it, it was a little bit too long, and I'm probably going to have to fold that up and maybe sew it into a pocket or something. So this is the pumpkin pie mini book that is part of the kit, and I love the pies. You all know I talk about pie constantly during My Heart of Thanksgiving every year. You make a mini book out of, the pages are circular, and the way you do it is you just sew straight down the middle, and you can flip the pages left and right, or you can sew an X across it, and then you've got these 4 sections that are like little layered sections that you can put tags and things into. So that's what I've done here. Now, this is how you slip ephemera in. You could put tags and journaling, and then you would put your cover on and then sew it down the left side. What I'm going to do though today is I want to just put this right into my book. I'm going to fold it in half and put it into my book like this. And when I did that, I thought it looked like the cutest calico rainbow, doesn't it? Or taco, maybe. Calico rainbow taco. Apparently I like pie and tacos. So I put this in, and I might need to cut the edges off. You can see I put the other cover in here, and that's what I did here. I just cut the ends off so that it was flush with the top and bottom of the pages. And then I've typed Count Your Blessings on this little scrap of paper here and added some leaves and some word art and a doily, and I'm just going to staple that to my turkey page here. And I wanted to show you this fall leaf confetti. If you can see the date there, it's fall 2017, which is the year that we started My Heart of Thanksgiving 5 years ago. And I have had this bag of leaves, and I have used it almost every year. I'm pretty sure every year since then. And I still have plenty of leaves. So I don't know if they still carry that, but if they do, you should look for it. So the ephemera kit comes with these number cards and labels and things, and that you can see it there on the screen. It's one of my hugest kits, 125 pieces, and I thought it would be fun to use these little number cards to count my blessings, but the backs of them are kind of small, so I thought I would make a little book. The numbers come with blank versions too, and I thought I would make a little book. And then I remembered that we're talking about scraps, and I've got these scraps. These are left over from the giant journaling tags. I cut the top parts off. Those are reinforcers. And you remember that I printed the ledger paper on the back of the giant journaling tags. Well, I cut the tops off because I didn't need those reinforcers, so I've got all these scraps of ledger paper. So I'm going to take my little numbers and I'm going to glue them to the back side of the ledger paper right over my logo there. And I am going to cut that out, and now just fold it in half, and I've got the cutest little book with ledger paper on the inside, and you could even add more pages to that if you wanted to. So then I'm going to fill up my little half pie there with those Counting Your Blessing booklets, and I'm going to put the blessings in those little booklets. So this is a giant manila tag, and I cut a lot of leaves out with some Thinlits on my Sizzix die cut machine. And so I had this tag, and I thought, why don't I ink it up really well? So you can see I'm doing that there, inked it and dried it up. And then I'm going to take some scraps of paper and then fill up the back of those empty spaces with all different pattern papers. And then I had a lot of scraps left over from the mini matchbook kit, and I'll link that below if you haven't seen the mini matchbook kit, and it's in the shop as well. And so I took all those little mini matchbook pages and I used those to go behind the different leaves and the acorns and all the things that I had cut out. And I thought that came out really cute. Now you can see all my scraps on the back. So I cut out a piece of pattern paper and laid that over the back to cover that up. And so now I have this beautiful tag with what was really just a lot of scraps, throwaways. So now this is going to be my week 2 prompt card, and I've done that same thing with the giant tag. I've wrapped it around and have it fold down like I did here, and I will probably do the same thing with the pocket, make a crochet pocket. And in it I've got tucked here a little library pocket card and a tag, and the library pocket card is actually your printable prize for participating in the live stream. So if you are live chatting with us right now on November 6th at 10 in the morning, this link will be given to you and you can download these library pocket cards. And I'm going to show you how to put them together really quick. They're super easy. You're just going to fold them up. You're going to print that pattern paper on the back first, and then you're going to fold them up and fold the flaps over and tuck your tags in, and that's it. You've got these cute little library pocket cards. So be sure and download those if you're in the live. If you're not in the live, you can check the shop and they will be listed there. So, okay, I'm going to make a little mini kind of like notepad with this. This is vintage wallpaper from one of the kits. And what I thought I would do is take this piece of bread ephemera and wrap this wallpaper around the top of it. And I'm going to make kind of like a little notepad. And I've cut out some ledger paper here that I'm going to slide into it. And I've got these two pieces. These are from our hem this week, which is leaning on the everlasting arms. And so I've just stapled that on the top and stapled in my ledger paper, and I added in my little hymn title and the little tab there. And then I thought I would journal about that hymn and maybe even type the lyrics in it or print the lyrics and then paste those in to my little book. So now what I want to show you is a really fun scrap project, and what I'm going to do is create a belly band made from scraps and little pieces of ephemera and pieces that I tore a piece off and then used it for something else. So you can see here what I'm doing is I've just filling in this strip of paper to create my belly band, and then I've got this scripture which actually I cut out of a journal card, and that's from the set. And then I'm gonna add that on, and I think I wanted to use like a pop-up dot maybe somewhere on it, so I'm not really sure about that. But before I do that, I want to glue everything down to my belly band. And so I'm just going to put one little dot of glue in the center of each piece of ephemera, and you can see that I've done that. And the thing that happens when you do that is it looks like it's all just laying there loose, but it's actually all glued down, and I kind of like that look. Now another thing you could do is sew it all on. But I'm going to put my verse on now, and I wanted to show you this trick. If you don't have any pop-up dots, just take a little piece of paper like this and fold it accordion style, just 1, 2, 3 like that, and glue whatever you want to glue down to it, and you can see it just pops it right up. That's a little trick I learned in 2nd grade, I think. So here's our belly band, and it's all ready, and I've got some folders and some envelopes from the kit and also from the November kit, and I'm just tucking those right into my belly band, and there it is. It's holding those great. So another thing that I wanted to show you that I have been experimenting with is this doodle pad paper. It's really cheap, almost like newsprint. And you can see what I'm holding here is printed on premium presentation paper, and on the left is printed on that newsprint. And so it gives it kind of a vintagey look, and it's really soft and lightweight, and it crinkles really well. Now these two receipts are the same. The one on the right is printed on presentation paper, and the one on the left is on the doodle paper. And you can see it almost makes it look like a real receipt because it's so crinkly. So I just wanted to give you that tip because the doodle paper is a lot cheaper. Now it's not archival, so it's not going to last forever, but it's just a fun thing to try. So okay, this one I think is one of my favorite ones to do with scraps, and it's making these little corner bookmarks. And all you're going to do is take a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be double-sided. Most of mine is. And you're going to lay it down with the side that you want to show flat. So I want those yellow roses to show. And then you're going to bend one side down kind of at a right angle, and then you're going to bend the other side down at a right angle so that they meet in the center and create a triangle. And you want them to kind of overlap each other. So if you pick it up and they don't overlap, you're going to see a little bit of a gap there, and I think that happens here. Yeah, you see that gap? So we don't want that. So we're going to go back in and just kind of overlap them a little bit more. And once you do that, you're going to cut off those extra strips and turn it over and open those little triangles. And you're just going to take a piece of washi tape and put that on the one side and fold that half of the triangle down, and then fold your other half down. And then your little bookmark is all ready. You can kind of stick your fingers in and smush that tape down a little bit more if you need to. And then you just stick it right on the corner of your page. Isn't that a great use for scraps? Now, if you want to get really fancy, I have made one with this one where I didn't cut those strips off, and I made a little pocket on the back. I'm kind of obsessed with pockets, and it's so funny because I'm editing this video tonight after watching Angie's live, and she made little mini pockets too. So you'll have to forgive the choppiness of this part of the video. I hit the wrong button and it sped it up, and so then I had to slow it down to show you this. So for the pocket one, you want to start in the middle of a long strip because you want your two really long strips, and we're not going to cut those off this time. So I'm doing that right angle on the right and then on the left, and we're going to do the same thing where we're going to even it up on the bottom. We don't want to cut those strips off, but we do want to just even it up a little bit. So I'm going to snip off that excess there. And then we're going to lay it down, and we're going to, instead of just overlapping them, we're actually going to tape those two strips together. And I'm just using some washi tape here to tape those strips together. And then you're going to flip it over backwards and fold those strips up to meet kind of the bottom of the triangle there. And here what I've done is used a piece of ephemera to cover that front part up. For this one, I'm going to use a piece of pattern paper and then fold the lip of those down over that pattern paper to create my pocket. And then we're just going to sew up the sides And now we've got our cute little pocket on one side and our corner bookmark on the other. And you can see, you can just put it down over the corner. So you've got your bookmark on one side, and on the other side you've got this really cute little diagonal pocket. And I've made a little tag to slip into it, but you could put hidden journaling or all kinds of fun little things in your little pocket there. Well, before I go, I need to give those who are playing along with our Bonanza game your Bonanza number. It's number 20, and it is an exclamation point. No letter this time, an exclamation point. That's what you're going to put in box 20. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a week filled with peace and grace, and I will see you next time here on Pink Paper Peppermints.